Hey, bud.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Going well, and I can't complain too much. You know, our Detroit Tigers are off to a decent start. Where's your Tiger hat?
I know I can't find it. It's somewhere.
Dude, I have literally bought you 2 Tiger hats for gifts over the years. The first one was in Los Angeles for I think it was your 30th birthday. I bought you one.
Right.
And by the way, I don't know if you remember this, but they were getting ready to throw you in the pool. And I said, hold on. And I reached into your pocket and grabbed your cell phone and your wallet. So, you know, I saved you money right there.
Yeah.
And I gave you a Tigers hat. And then you moved out to Denver. And I said, you know, do you still have your Tigers hat? And you're like, no, I don't know what happened to it. So the next birthday was probably your 40th or whatever. I bought you another Tigers hat. And you're telling me you lost that too.
Right. Whoops. Sorry here. Yep.
That's probably someone telling me they found the Tiger hat.
Potential spam. I'm going to say it's definitely spam.
No, but
sorry about my background here, by the way. This is my
what's going on, dude?
This is a hostage video. I'm being held hostage right now.
Palm and D.
2 middle-aged idiots.
But no, this is my KC office hostage video room.
Good. Well, it doesn't bad. At least, you know, the background, you know, is a little boring, but and I like those curtains you have. They look like my Madras shorts from like senior year in high school or something.
Right, exactly. No, I was going to find a better background, but I had no time to kind of set up. I had no time, no idea what time.
Well, that's why we do this on the fly, and that's know one of the things that this is not scripted. You don't even know who the guest is. I mean, it's like one of those things where it's just fly by the seat of our pants.
I'm so glad you said that because we haven't even talked about that. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to have the guest or you're supposed to have the guest. So it sounds like
I got a guest for
somebody up. Okay.
And this person who's coming on is an author.
Oh, we're teeing this person up already. All right.
Well, I don't know. You said speaking of guests.
Okay.
What, do you want to talk more about me?
No,
how about my Berlin shirt that my parents got me in Germany?
I'm sure our guest has been waiting long enough.
Well, anyway, so back to the guest and your amazing background. Not only is she an author, but she also is a former television personality, national television. She was once the most heard voice in America.
Joan Rivers.
And she had a video production company that was very successful.
Oprah Winfrey.
Yes.
Not Oprah.
No, she doesn't have a book club.
Okay.
Yeah, but she does have a book, and she's working on her second one, and she's an amazing woman, a Renaissance woman, and you know what else?
What?
She's my mom.
No! Kathleen! Oh my God! Let's bring her on.
Where is she?
Hi.
Mom.
Hi,
Hi, Tom. Hi, Darren.
Good to see you.
Oh, so good to see you.
Now, you have known Darren almost as long as I have because you would visit me when I was in college. And of course, I said, I met this great guy. We become really good friends. And you guys actually, Darren's like, no, we haven't. Who is this fruitcake? No, but you've known Darren almost as long as I have.
I know. I remember. And I remember when I was in Bloomington and he was working at some restaurant and he had done all this Tromdee walls and all this really cool artwork. And I thought he was so talented. And then, well, what happened?
I lost that talent somewhere.
Oh.
What happened to my talent? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I want to know what happened to Puccini's because I'm moving to Bloomington. I mean, that was a great restaurant.
That was great.
I don't know. I wonder if it's still there. Last time I was there, I think it was still open, but maybe it was under a new management or ownership. I don't know. But yeah, that's that was where I worked for several years. I ended up waiting tables there.
I remember.
Yeah. Paid my way through college for the last 2 years of undergrad anyway.
Yeah.
That's great. No, you've got a lot of skills, kiddo. You do. I'm very impressed.
Well,
you.
Any skills that I got, a lot of them came from your genes, certainly. I always wanted to kind of be in the entertainment business because when I was a kid, my mom was on TV. You want to talk a little bit about your TV career?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I know that you both understand this. that to get anywhere in any profession, you need some things going for you. You do need some skills. You do need, you've got to be able to get out there and have some confidence in your skills and in yourself. But you also need luck. And my ability to get into a major market as my first TV job, which is kind of hilarious in and of itself, is because I was lucky. They had a program, CBS in Detroit had a program called
PM Magazine.
And it's a syndicated program. And each large city had its own little cabal of folks who did stories locally, but then they could pull from the national syndicate, if you will. And they were auditioning people who had never had television experience. And I got a job with them. And then I moved into the morning slot. And this was before CBS had a morning show online nationally. So it was kind of like a mini Today Show, and we got all of the same guests that all the big national TV shows were getting, and they came into Detroit to promote movies or books or whatever, and I got to interview all these people. So it was a great job.
I remember some of the people you interviewed. You interviewed Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I did, and he is the one who got me working out.
What? Nice.
Yes, because he got me this free membership at Vic Tanny, a month's free membership, because he knew a couple of the guys who ran it. And Tom, I don't know if you remember, there were a couple of Lions football players, ex-football players. But anyway, I called them up and I said, I have a free membership there. And I gave them my name and I said, I just want to make sure everything's okay. And she said, well, I'm looking, here now. Who set this up for you? I said, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I thought, this woman is never going to believe this. Yeah. And she said, oh, yes, I see it here. So she said, come on in. And that's, thanks to good old Arnold, I've been able to kind of keep working out since my early 30s. So. And
you also, you interviewed, at that time, First Lady Barbara Bush.
Yes.
And you interviewed Phil Donahue.
Yep.
Larry King.
Yeah.
You interviewed a lot of people over the years.
Interviewing Larry King would be a dream.
Can we tell the Larry King story now that he's since passed? Or is that not good?
Well, I don't know if I can reveal everything I know about him.
Too soon?
But I interviewed him in Detroit. And then I ended up working for Disney with a production company out of Los Angeles. And I was a national reporter for them. And I traveled around and did these feature stories. And I went to Washington, D.C. to interview him when he was transitioning from radio to TV. So I interviewed him there. And yes, well, here's the story. My production company in LA had booked me into this hotel that was kind of in a seedy area. So Larry's producer said, oh, you can't stay there. That is not a good neighborhood. We'll find you another place. And Larry leaned over and said, you can always stay with me.
Oh, yeah. I knew it was coming.
So
hi, folks.
the
Larry
producer's
King.
going, oh my God, because I have a feeling he has said that many times.
Yeah. Larry has never said that stuff. He just says, Detroit, you're on with Larry King. Literally, you're on Larry King.
Needless to say, I stayed at another hotel.
Good idea.
Well done. Right.
Would have been a lousy stepdad.
Right.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You're so right.
So you did television for quite a while. You had, morning shows, and you had a show called Coming Soon to Your Living Room out of Chicago, which that's a cool one.
That was, boy, what a professional crew. And again, it was kind of luck. The man I had worked with who was directing the morning show ended up going to Chicago working for WTTW, and they were looking to produce a bunch of pilot programs for other stations around the country. And he suggested that I host these programs at they were kind of pilots, really. So I went over there. I didn't really have to audition, and it was a wonderful experience. I mean, once again, boy, I'll tell you, there's nothing like knowing people and being in the right place at the right time.
Okay, well, you said luck twice, and I know luck, but luck is also, I've heard it said something like, luck is really preparedness meeting opportunity. So you had the opportunity, but you were clearly prepared or the right person for it. So it wasn't.
You have to, right. You have to do your homework, and you have to really want it, and you have to practice and put in the time. There's no question about that. You also have to have kind of an innate ability. I mean, for broadcasting, I like to be on stage. I like it when I'm the center of attention, and it's fun.
So different from your child.
Oh my gosh, night and day.
I'm so camera shy. No, but back to that show. Actually, I'm surprised it didn't take off and become like Entertainment Tonight, because the idea was Siskel and Ebert were talking about what's coming soon to the screen or what to go see at the movies, and this was just when like Blockbuster and stuff had just started to take off. People were starting to get VCRs in their house, and it became something where it's like, what's coming soon to your living room? Like what movies are going to be coming out this week on well, not DVD, but VHS or beta back then. And WTTW were the ones who hosted Siskel and Ebert and brought that whole genre to television. So, they had a track record, and other stations were interested in what they were doing. I don't ever know what happened to that, but it was fun to do.
I would have thought that would have been WGN.
No, WTTW is public broadcasting in Chicago.
And that's where Siskel and Ebert started, was a public broadcasting show.
Okay.
Well, there's another thing that's interesting, and I love this one. You were dubbed by the New York Times as the most heard voice in America.
Oh, yes. Well, it was such a strange gig. Again, right place, right time.
Are you serious?
I was an advertising copywriter in downtown Detroit, working on the Chrysler account, a big agency, big account. And one of our clients was this company just beginning to do this artificial voice thing. This was way back in the
70s.
In the 70s, yeah.
Right.
And so they were looking for a voice that fit into their system. It couldn't be too high and it couldn't be too low, and it couldn't have an accent. And, so they were looking for something very specific. So, and they wanted a woman. So every woman in the agency, secretaries, most women were secretaries back then, not too many of us copywriters, but we all auditioned, and I got the job because my voice fit into their system.
Wow.
So then they started selling this, hardware, I think it was hardware and software, to companies around the country, and they ended up selling it to the Baby Bells, which had just kind of broken away from Ma Bell. So I was my voice was in all these various Bell systems around the country, and after a while, it got to the place where my voice was heard more often than anybody's when you call directory assistance.
411, right?
411.
Okay, Mom, I'll be the operator, and Darren, you ask me for, you tell me a company in the city, and then Mom will give the number. Ready?
Okay.
Directory assistance, how may I help you?
Yes, I'd like the number for Tony's Pizza.
Hold one moment, please.
The number is 555 1212. Repeat 555 1212.
And if you need further information, a directory assistance operator will return. I remember that was on the end.
Oh, did I say that? I probably did.
But sometimes I would just call up and say, dude, check out my mom. And I'd call. My mom's like, how come we have so many 411 calls? Because we were only allowed like 3 a month, you know? And we got hundreds of them coming out of my house, you know?
And when I recorded this, I recorded the numbers, 0 through 9 or whatever through
and then
10.
going up and down.
Yeah, up and down.
Pronunciation, yeah.
So 5, like 5, 5, 5. So then the computer would choose, is it the first number? Is it the last number? Because you want to go down on the last number. 555. So that's
right.
how my voice was better then. My voice is like a little old lady voice now, but it was
because you are 70, almost 77.
Yeah.
Look, and you've had no work. You've had no plastic surgery, no Botox.
No work. But you know what? I stand on my head all day long. And it works because
gravity. It's gravity. Gravity's brutal.
Gravity.
She sleeps in a gravity bed upside down,
do.
just like a vampire or something.
Yeah.
Or a bat.
Speaking of age, I don't know if we want to jump ahead or eventually get there, but I definitely want to talk about your book. But maybe we'll save that in just a little bit because I have a copy somewhere around here. At least
I have a copy.
Yeah.
So do I.
I definitely want to talk about that because that's something.
I have a copy too. And mine
go.
was signed. Mine was signed. Look at
Mine
this.
was not. Mine was not.
Oh, we'll have to rectify that.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
Darren, we'll get you a signed one. Just order one off Amazon, pay for the shipping. all
Order
that shit.
another one.
Right.
No, but there was
Definitely.
one other thing that I want to mention before we get out of the broadcasting stuff. Before, like we said, my mom was a writer, and not only was she the first woman writer ever on the Chrysler account.
Mm-hmm.
No woman had ever done that. No. But there is something that she did for a company called BASF.
Oh, yeah.
And
Sure.
you remember these commercials that would go, we don't make the products you buy. We make the products you buy better. And that,
right.
That was my mom wrote that copy.
I
and
love
they're still using it to this
day.
day.
I knew that somehow. That is incredible. And they still use it today?
And they're still, they went away and did something else. And then they've come back of late and they're,
it starts out like, we don't make the bed.
We don't make the jet engine. We make it better.
Better. We don't make
that kind of
right.
fun.
We don't make the bed you sleep in. We make it softer. And then they go, we don't make a lot of the things you buy, products you buy, but we make a lot of the products you buy better. That was but to think that they still using that like 50 years later.
And I didn't get any residuals.
No residuals, no royalties.
No.
Oh my God. Who was your agent?
Yeah, no kidding.
I didn't think about that at the time.
Right, exactly. Oh my God. That is great.
It was definitely fun growing up because, when she did the PM Magazine thing, it was like, we're going to Farrell's Ice Cream. Now, Farrell's Ice Cream was like this place where they would have like, it was kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese, but it was just ice cream and stuff. And then my mom said, well, we're going to do a thing at Farrell's and they want to have a kid. So do you want to be, I'm sure, and they're like, take 10. They bring out another Sunday. My mom's like, you can't have another Sunday, dude.
Well, that must have been pretty cool as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Like, look at the TV and see a commercial or her show or pick up the phone and like, my mom's telling me what the number is for this place.
Right. Or open the TV guide and say, look at my mom. And she was in the TV guide, like, weekdays, 7 to 8 on, channel 2. And it would have her picture. It was cool though. Yeah, it was definitely fun.
That's amazing. I totally forgot about the TV guide. That's like back in the days of phone books. Like anybody under 40 maybe probably wouldn't.
Yes. Well, and the first time I knew the ad was going to be in there, I went to the Kroger's and bought up a bunch of them because I was so excited.
That's amazing. Oh my
That's
God.
fun.
All right. So I want to hear if it's not too. Wait, before we get to the book, though, wasn't there something with Jay Leno?
You did a movie with Jay Leno.
I was in a movie.
Yeah.
With Jay.
It was a Detroit Auto
It was called Collision Course.
Collision Course.
A
Right.
movie that will go down in the annals of cinema.
Wait, the what of cinema?
Anal?
The annals of cinema, right
That's
down
right.
the toilet.
Sorry.
So it is more like the
Very
annals of
childish
cinema.
mind. Right.
No, but I believe Pat Morita and Jay Leno were the two.
And the two stars, and
Yeah.
they were both very nice. I got this job because they had to have a SAG member, Screen Actors Guild, and I was already a member, and they were filming in Detroit, and they wanted several people to be reporters because there was going to be this big press conference. This was kind of a buddy movie where these two guys were kind of ferreting out corruption in the auto industry, but I mean, it had a lot of comedy and so forth in it. But so I had 4 lines. I auditioned for the director. I went into his trailer at lunch. I thought,
Larry King,
Larry
part
King.
2.
Larry King was there.
No.
No.
Does anyone need some place to sleep tonight? Does anyone need a place to wait? You got to hunch over more. I'm Larry King. Does anyone need a place to sleep?
So I go in there, the guy's like eating spaghetti and all this. And so he just says, well, interview me like you're a news reporter and you are desperate to get this story. So I held up my hand like a microphone and I just started hammering him with questions. And so after a little bit, he said, sounds good. You're great. You got the job. So then I had my own little trailer. I am not kidding. It was like part of a trailer, but if you have a speaking part in a movie, you're considered a principal. And a principal is treated much differently than an extra or, anybody else who's in there. So you eat with the stars of the movie. You have a little trailer like all the other actors in the movie who actually have lines that go on beyond 4. And, wow, what an experience. And so I did my 4 lines, I did the whole thing. And they're measuring, how far I am. I had to do it like 1,000 times. So then what happens, like so many actors, I still get residuals.
Oh, nice.
But they cut out 3 of those lines, and one of them, I'm kind of off in the distance saying the line. Although I am on camera.
Yes, I remember.
Right. I know I've seen it. Yeah, it's good. I remember.
You know how he heard about it? He watched Coming Soon to Your Living Room, and he just went out and read it that day.
Okay, quick Pat Morita story. Yeah. I worked with him on a movie I did called Karate Dog years ago. Horrible. I mean, it's as good as what the title suggested it may be. But
did you play the dog?
No, I was the production designer for it. Yeah. But Pat Morita comes walking on the set. And of course, in classic Pat, he's like, all right, everyone, stop waxing off.
Very good, Danielson. You will stop waxing off now.
It's like
number 1 birthday present.
Right?
Number 1 birthday present. Wild Night with Mr. Miyagi.
No, Wild Night with Larry King.
Yeah. Larry King.
Right. Okay, I want to jump ahead to your book because I have. It's been a minute since I've read this, but I love your book.
Oh, thank you.
Like it is something I want to have you lead us into it. Title, what it's about, when you wrote it, why you wrote it.
Yeah, well, first of all, the title is Reclaim Your Right to Grow Old. And the subtitle is How to Immerse Yourself in, Be Curious About, and Celebrate Life's Most Important Stage. And I started researching this when I turned 60. So that's been almost 17 years ago. But the whole idea was, I thought, well, I'm going to be 60. People think that's old. I don't want to be what the culture thinks an old woman should be, which is either A, somebody who just becomes sort of this doddering little delicate person who's kind of boring and, just kind of melts into this.
And writes lots of checks at the express lane.
Checks, yes. And or the plastic surgery route, where you have to stay young forever, which is absurd, really ridiculous, because there is no way you can go back. You can't go back. So I decided there's got to be another way to age. And I started doing research, and I did a lot of research into ancient cultures, Eastern cultures in particular, African cultures, where old people not only are kind of shriveled up or tossed aside, or else they have to pretend like they're young, but older people are revered. Older people are at the top of the food chain. Everyone looks up to them. Oh my gosh, grandma, let me come and help you. Let me visit you. You're so wise. Give me advice. I thought, this is the way to go. Right. So after I read up on that, and then I started researching modern gerontology, which actually kind of foments this idea that older people are really at the pinnacle of human achievement. I mean, what are we all doing this for? If we're not gaining experience and maturity and wisdom, for what? To be old and disseminate this and help younger people along the way. That's our role. Our role is not to be perpetually youthful. Our role is not to go out and prove that once again, I can still work. I can still make my way among the middle-aged. No, our role is to be above that. Our role is to help young people along the way with our own advice that comes from maturity, experience, and wisdom. And why not? I mean, we're the ones who've been through it. So, and also, I do think older people should do what they want. I think it's ridiculous when people say, well, older women should just babysit, or older men should just be, meeting their friends for coffee. And they should also babysit. I mean, do what you want to do. If you want to travel, fine. If you want to take up a hobby, fine. If you just want to read.
My mom recently turned 83, and she just started doing heroin. I was like, good for you, Mom. Do what the fuck you want.
Exactly right. Right. I couldn't agree more.
Right. She's watching porn, doing heroin. And she's like,
I want to meet.
Sorry, Mom, if you're watching.
She sounds cool.
And we kid Darren's mom
right now.
Oh, yes, we kid.
Right.
So that's the idea. And, a lot of people have really liked this idea. I think it was a little before its time. It still is, because there are still plenty of people, women in particular, who go out there and try to pretend like they don't tell their age. I always tell my age because, if you don't tell your age, then it's like, why isn't she being honest? She must be embarrassed. And the more we perpetuate the idea that being old isn't good, people will think being old isn't good.
Right.
So,
yeah. So I recently, I produce a couple of podcasts amongst like a bunch of different things, but one of the podcasts for this pharmaceutical company that I don't want to say their name or the name of the cast, but anyway, they had a guest on there who her whole expertise is about longevity.
Mhm.
She was a medical doctor, but she specializes in sort of, aging and how to, fight against disease and how to do all these things through nutrition and exercise and just, exercising the mind as well. But I loved her definition of longevity. It was, I'm probably going to get this wrong, but basically it was something like, to her, longevity was dying young at a very old age.
Oh.
Which
I like
I
that.
absolutely loved.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, okay, pushing 60, a couple years away, but, I want to do everything I can to have that sort of longevity, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, with my friends, with
Sexually with your friends.
Sexually, absolutely, 100. Yeah. Drug free, I'm happy to say. Yeah.
No, I think that sounds great. I try to do that too. I mean, I try to take care of myself and eat right and exercise a lot. I think all of that is really important. However, I have a problem with the word young because I think old is a pejorative, and I don't like that old is a pejorative. I think, yes, to be young, to die young, I think, or to die peacefully and, feeling accomplished. And I think all of that is good. Yeah, I don't know. Through all my research, whenever I hear someone say, "Oh, he's 90 years young," no, he isn't.
Right.
He's 90 years old. He's old, and he should be proud that he's old.
Well, it's also a language thing too, because a lot of languages you say "I have" a certain amount of years instead of
Yes.
"I am" a certain number of years.
Yeah, like in Spanish.
Spanish.
Tengo.
Yo
I have.
tengo, yo tengo
have.
5 años or whatever. Right?
Sí, yeah. I mean, yes, but no, that's very true. So that shows a cultural difference right there, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it does. Right.
Like you've earned those years, and you've
Yes.
like an old person has earned their wrinkles, they've earned their gray
Yes.
hair, they've earned their, whatever. It's like you've earned that. That's like, and it's so funny because people don't, especially the younger people, they don't really respect the elderly in this or
No.
older people in this country like they do in other countries. And Mom, we've talked about it before, how it's kind of like you get to a certain age, it's kind of like, well, we really should put grandma in a home. We really should,
Tom, don't start thinking about that yet.
No, but people do. They're like, oh,
I know.
do you really want Mom having to move in with us? Well, if you're in certain cultures, it's an honor to have Mom move in with you.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that in our culture. I don't know if that will happen, except that boomers, my generation, are at the point where, we're all getting old, and we do still have some power just in our numbers, although we are dying off, but
even like I'm on a lot of, like, I'll be on a sports website, and I'll like in a little, not chat room, but like a forum, and we'll be talking about Indiana basketball, and you'll say something, they go, okay, boomer, and it's almost like they're using it as a slam. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I'm not a boomer. Second of all, my mom's a boomer, and she's a heck of a lot cooler than you are, so whatever, dude.
Yeah, it's a fight all the way. But I think there are things older people can do. First of all, tell your age. Don't be afraid to do that. Secondly, don't spend all of your time left and certainly all your money on, trying to look 10, 15, 20 years younger. If you look younger, great. But if you don't, that's okay. I mean, we all age differently. We really do. That's one of the things I learned. And it's not, again, Darren, it's not all lifestyle. Luck plays a part. I've been lucky not to have any serious things wrong with me, and, knock on wood, but that could end tomorrow. But
you're also likely to genetically have, both of your parents were thin. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you have, obesity and heart disease and diabetes, in your genes. So, there is some, luck that plays out in that as well. But there is certainly, And even if you can't control those things, you can still do the hobbies you want to do, or travel,
Right.
or do things I remember one time you and I were talking, and you said, like, this woman who like always wanted to, work in corporate for all these years. And all of a sudden she retired, and she's like, I want to get rid of all the clothes in my closet and dress bohemian and go to yoga classes and
Exactly.
play in drum circles. I want to be that inner hippie that I've never been able to do in the corporate world.
Yeah, and you can do it. That's the glory, the freedom of being old. I mean, it is freeing. I dress the way I want and, do what I want and say things I want. And I swear a lot more than I used to. But I think it was accumulating over the years.
Of raising me.
Sudden, I just had to let go. And so.
Right.
That's
I
funny.
would swear a lot too if I were Tom's mom. I swear a lot just as his friend. I mean, come on. God
Yeah,
damn.
he swears a lot. And he's just my friend. Imagine being,
Exactly.
responsible for me all those years.
When you were growing up, though, did I?
No, you didn't swear.
Just under your breath, under your inside.
Oh gosh, yes. It's like,
inside.
Son of a bitch, you little
Right.
piece of shit. I swear to God, I'm going to wring your neck.
yeah, exactly. Drink a lot of martinis.
Which you still do. And what's funny is that my mom and I will be out, somewhere, and I'll say, we'll be having dinner or something like that, and someone will say, I'll say, well, Mom, what do you want? And they'll either say, oh, that's so cute, you call her mom. And I'm like, well, she is my mom. No, she's not. And then, of course, they want to see the ID and all that stuff.
Right.
Then they say, well, what's your secret? And she's like, I have a martini and a half every night. I'm pickled. I'm
Right.
pickled.
And a cigar. Right.
No cigars. They
No
smell bad.
cigars, but maybe I'll take that up.
Exactly. You never know. That
You
narrow.
don't ever know.
So, what is next besides smoking? What's ahead for you in your future?
Well,
Are you going to write
actually,
a follow-up to the book?
yeah, I am writing a novel.
Nice.
And I've never written a novel, but my whole career has sort of been based on my writing skills from starting, as an advertising copywriter, and then television broadcaster, writing scripts and interviews. And then I had my own production companies, so I would write scripts for industrial films. And, so it's just kind of carried through. And a friend of mine said to me, you should keep writing. She said, why don't you write a novel? And it just stuck with me. And I thought, why not?
Well, I've read you've been sending me chapters as you finish them. And
I know, but I've changed some of those.
again, I mean, how many times do I have to read the first 4 chapters?
Because that's the process, I think.
No, but I'm just saying that from what I've read so far, I mean, it's a captivating story. The characters
thanks.
are great. And I do know, like any writer will loosely base things on experiences of things they know. So,
Yes.
how television and things like that. And if, you have a son and having a son. So some of the things so I kind of picture myself as this character sometimes. Yeah. So I'm thinking really we should kind of focus more on the son, I mean, kind of the clairvoyant stuff is
And his
okay. But
friend.
yeah, I mean, I think this
And
is
his friend.
Right.
And
And
his
the movie
friend
writes,
is-
Pat Morita will play his friend.
He's dead, dude.
King will bring him back somehow.
And Larry King's got to make his
AI, we can do
and
it.
Carrot Top.
AI.
And when you're ready for a table read, man, I would love to hop in on that.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
We'll
do it.
do it.
Well, this has been so much fun, Mom, talking with you and getting a chance to introduce you to, people who may not otherwise know and people who may want to buy your book on Amazon.
Yes.
Is there a QR code on the back? Can we scan it at the
No,
screen?
there's just that.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Not a QR code, but it is available on Amazon. Reclaim Your Right to Grow Old, Kathleen O'Brien, for sure. And if you live, anywhere where Darren and I live, either Kansas City or Bloomington in the future or Denver, we can even have her autograph it for you.
Yes, you can.
Exactly. Right. Well, this has been so much fun, and I'm sure it's almost martini time, right?
Yes, it is.
Why not? Isn't it always martini time?
Well, if you've seen our family crest, all it is a clock with fives all the way around it. And it says it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
That is our family crest. Thanks for remembering that, Tom.
I love that. I love that.
Oh, it's hilarious.
This has been great. Thank you so much for having me. You guys are a riot. You're a blast. And I can't wait to be asked to be a guest again.
Well, thank you so much again. And we will, Tom's going to hang on and we'll talk to you very soon. Thank you.
Sounds
so
like
much.
a plan. Okay, you guys have fun.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, what do you think? That was cool.
Oh my God. That was so awesome. I love her.
Yeah, she's great. You know what? I mean, I love your mom too, you know, and you know, I knew her when I was in college, but there's something to be said about, you know, feeling that, man, I got a great mom. I love my mom. And, you know, I've learned so much from her. And to this day, you know, I mean, anything I have, any questions I have about the industry or whatever, I mean, she's always open ears and always, you know, advice and ideas. And especially, you know, she's a guru. So, you know, she's got more wisdom than people our age. So
well, I'm going to have to find the book or reorder it more pointedly and have her sign a copy.
Absolutely.
It's been a while since I've read it, so I definitely got to dive in there again. And I know I've gotten it for somebody else. I'm trying to remember. Maybe it was my mom or
it might have been your mom. I kind of remember that.
Yeah. But great book. And man, just written by a great author, great lady. That was such a treat having her on.
Well, I appreciate it, Darren. And yeah, looking forward to more episodes, more Tiger wins, and more laughs with my old college buddy. Next episode, look forward to it, Darren. Tom and D.
Tom and D. That's what we're going with, right?
Yeah.
It's been all right. Yeah. Tom and D show. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Darren. See you guys.
Right. See you, buddy. Oh, later.
Later, dude.
Later, dude.
Tom and D.
Two middle-aged idiots